I'd like to welcome you guys to another weekly installment of Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every single Wednesday morning I post a video going through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video itself, and one person's question will be on the thumbnail every single week. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And just know, if I did comment to you and say, great question, and I might use this and I didn't, please drop that question again. I can only do so many per video. And I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out with some people. It always helps me make my final decision. And we got to give thanks to today's video sponsor, and that is Punch-Out Gaming. Punch-Out Gaming is my local game store that I go to, and the #1 game store in all of Minnesota. I've actually been to them all. Nobody can beat the variety. You can order right from their site too. They got stuff for everybody. Pokemon, sports cards, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, tons of video games, and tons of video game consoles. And they have one of the best selections of raw Pokemon cards that I have ever seen in the store. You can even come in and play the TCG and hang out. It's honestly a great time. So definitely check them out. They're located 30 minutes north of the Twin Cities. Otherwise, the link is in the description. But all right, let's get to the first question. Now, this is the question that's on the thumbnail. It's from @Karito Daki. Just started watching your videos, looking to start collecting. Where do you start? So honestly, the best bang for your buck technically is going to be a Pokemon lot on eBay. So these are all recently sold. So we got, vintage hollows, $43.50. Bunch of old vintage hollows, not sure the condition. Some GX cards for $35 or best offer, some nicer ones. Some Japanese and English vintage hollows, $36. We got a 17 rare hollow vintage Pokemon card lot for $132. Looks like we got Zapdos, Ninetales, some base set, graded card lot. So honestly, this is your best bet. So what I do recommend doing is looking on Pokemon Collector and look at all the sets, right? Just start clicking through the sets and start looking at all the cards. And once you start seeing cards you really, really like, start collecting those cards. It's that simple. Just collect what you like. But lots, you're going to get the best collection the fastest. And then you're probably going to get a bunch of cards you may not like, which is good, because then you could start, selling those or trading, making new friends. It's honestly a great time. Welcome to the hobby. Next question is from the Cotton Family 9584. What is a good website for checking market prices on Japanese cards? I notice no one ever brings this up. So I use Pokedata.io, and they are also a sponsor of mine because I love their site so much. You can use my link in the description to sign up for the pro account, which then you get all the data. I mean, you can look at lifetime. It's honestly great. But as you can see here, we got English. You can go right to Japanese. And they got all the Japanese sets, all the cards. Super, super good site. Great question. Next is from Typhlosion Gaming 45. Good idea to grade with SGC. I have been grading with them for their speed and cheap price. I have had orders come back in 10 days door to door. Now, SGC is actually pretty popular for sports cards. I'm not a big fan of the label, but some of the rarest sports cards in the world are actually graded by SGC. But we'll take a little peek here. So here's the Charizard EX 151. It's a great example because these sell a good amount. So $275 or best offer. We got $219, 20 bids. We got 153 here for a 9.5. But let's say around $225 on average for the SGC 10. So we'll hop over to PSA. We got $399 or best offer, $320 or best offer, $370 or best offer, $320 or best offer. So let's say $300. So you're definitely getting a little more value going with PSA for sure. But if you're not really interested in selling it, it's not a huge deal, and you can always crack slabs and cross grade and stuff. So, all right, next question is from @BRADPT. I have the big 3 from Base Set Unlimited. Should I sell them raw or grade them? Probably get a grade 5, maybe 6. As always, thanks for the content, mate. Much love. Well, take a little peek here. So we got the Charizard base set, and I did the condition lightly played to moderately played, because I feel like that's probably what a 5 or 6 would be. So we got $199 with $35 in shipping from Australia, $200 or best offer, $240 or best offer, $200 or best offer, $265, $175. We'll say around $200, maybe a little cheaper. Now we'll check the graded. Let's see here. We got $284 for a 6, $213 plus $35 in shipping, so $250 for a 5. Here's another 6, $265. A 6 for $300 or best offer. So you're definitely getting a little more value grading, especially if you do hit that 6. You know, we're talking $200 to $250, possibly even $300. But again, you know, might not be worth it. If you end up getting fives, it's going to be pretty close. And then you got to wait, do the shipping fees and all that. So I don't know. It's tough. All right. Next question is from Kyle Salona 1578. What do you think of the special delivery Charizard, specifically in a 10? There's a lot, but not many 10s. Do you think it has more room to grow? Let's check it out. We're on pokedata.io here. There's actually a decent amount of 10s, 3,710. I mean, you know, that's no Moonbreon, but that's a good amount. It is a cool card. So PSA 10 was 189. Now chilling right around close to 250. I mean, raw, we got $20, $42 for sealed. That raw probably was not sealed, no, near mint. So yeah, $240 for that 10. 20 for raw, 38 for raw, sealed. So it looks like about $40 for sealed, $20 raw, not sealed, and around $250 for a PSA 10. I don't know. It is a cool, unique card, and there's a few of these. So I could see it definitely going up in price, especially in that 10, but I don't think it's going to be like a $1,000 card. Could maybe hit like a $500 card. You never really know, though. These promos can be pretty crazy sometimes. Next question is from @headshots8811. Repeat question. Is it worth trading an Evolving Skies ETB for a Jolteon VMAX collection box? I already have a Vaporeon and Flareon, just missing that Jolteon box. Sounds like you just answered your own question. Sounds like you need the Jolteon box. We'll check though, because I think they are about the same exact price now, which is cool. 122, 128, 124. And the Jolteon box, 127, 121, 135. Yeah, in my opinion, I think it's cooler to have the complete set. And this might be one of the greatest boxes we've ever gotten. Technically, yes, you're getting pure Evolving Skies packs, but you can't beat these promos. Especially, you might be able to open them, and if they get 10s, you're talking a good amount of money because they're pretty expensive in a 10. But yeah, I love the collection, so I'm going for collection. Next question is from @It's Jeho. Repeat question. If you had to invest in one slab now, budget, normal, expensive price range, what would it be and why? Pretty tough question, to be honest, because there's just so many cards. So I like this Umbreon Gold Star from Celebrations. If you guys do not know about the original Umbreon Gold Star, go check out and see how expensive it is. It is absolutely insane. One of the most expensive, rarest Gold Stars in the world. And it's Umbreon. Next, we got the Pikachu AR number 205 out of 172 from V-Star Universe, which is the Japanese equivalent to Crown Zenith. The only way to get this card is to pull it in a God Pack. So I think it's pretty cool. I mean, there is still a ton of these out there, but everybody was opening V-Star Universe. And the God Packs aren't like impossible to pull. But I think it's super cool. It's a super cute card. And I just love that you can only get it in a God Pack. And this is the last sold at 105, and we'll do a little more expensive. And I think the Zapdos EX last sold 145 in a PSA 10. I could see this card being like a $500 PSA 10 card. I don't know why. I think it's basically the best art in all Scarlet and Violet, and plus getting Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno all in one card in a special illustration wear. I mean, come on, you cannot beat this. So I could see this card going absolutely crazy. All right, next question is from @JoeVote. Repeat question. Would you recommend sending in vintage base set 2 and below holos if they won't get higher than a 7 best case scenario? Take a little peek here. So just typed in the Scyther base set 2, last sold on eBay. Near mint, $25. This one's 19 for near mint. And we got a PSA 7 here for $34 and $5 in shipping. So you're really not getting a ton of value. And I know this is just a Scyther. I just, you know, typed in a random base set 2 card that I knew that was in the set, but I also love this Scyther card. Even an 8 here, they had to drop the price. Best offer accepted, 15% off, you know. So I don't know. I would probably just sell it if you're going to sell it, or hold on to them. And at that price, you know, especially if they might grade a 7, you know, they're close to lightly played near mint. Maybe you want to hold on to them for a long time. Vintage could have another boom one day. We're talking $15 to $20 for a 20-year-old card, 25-year-old card. I'd probably just hold on to them if it were me. But I also hold on to everything, so. Next is from @Thuini91. Hello, what are your thoughts on the Poncho Pikachu promo cards? Do you think they will hold value in the long run? Thanks. Now, I personally am not the biggest fan of these like exclusive promos and all that Japan does. Like, I think it's cool, and I think the cards are beautiful. I just like my cards in sets that you can actually pull. That's my favorite thing. But these cards will probably do great. You know, I don't think they'll ever like crash in price, to be honest. So, and there's a ton of different kinds, so many different options, some cheaper options, some more expensive options, you know, but I know a ton of people collect them. All right, next question, almost the same thing. At Turbo0589, high repeat question here. What do you think of the Eevee Poncho cards? I am thinking of buying a few or the whole set and wanted your opinion. Take a little peek at the Eevee ones for last sold. Now, I do like that there's like a little set, you know, it almost makes you want to complete it. I get that, and it is pretty cute. These ones are semi-affordable. So, yeah, I think it might be worth it. Looks like we got all PSA 9s here, $2,500. Well, it looks like we got a little set here, 6 of them, all sealed. $3,000 or best offer. Now, again, I don't know a ton about these cards, but I don't know. They're okay. I get why people really, really enjoy them. The idea is cool. I just don't like how expensive they are and their promos and kind of exclusive, but they'll probably do great. All right, next question is from Donovan Jackson 4391. So I've been sitting on the peelable Ditto cards from the Pokemon Go set. I've got about 6 full sets of them, so 18 total. And I'm wondering if grading them before selling is worth it or to sell them raw in sets of 3. Take a little peek here. So this is the only Numal Ditto that I could find that's sold for a PSA 10. There's not very many. $182. So if they are nice, definitely at least worth trying to send them in. Worst case scenario, you just crack them, or you know, you just have some 8s and 9s. Looks like you can get the Spinarak, Numal, and Bidoof right here for $20, lightly played. Last one sold out of 42. So yeah, maybe send in your nicest ones. Worth a try. All right, next question is from a member at ModCult. This might be a weird question, but what would you use to package ETBs or booster boxes for shipping? Any particular brands or resources I could use to protect them? Again, your videos are so helpful. Thank you. So now I strongly recommend using stuff like this. This is another sponsor of mine that I just got, Platinum Protectors. They have these cheaper, thinner booster box and ETB cases. And the reason why I recommend them, I mean, the booster box is only $10. The ETB one is also $10. When you take pictures of them online and you have a picture of them in a case and you say the case is included, people love that. You know, they know they're getting a case. They don't got to get a case for it. They love it. You know, if they got the option between 2 people and one's got a case and one doesn't, they're taking the case every time. Even if it is just a few bucks more, they know it's getting shipped in an actual case, so they'll love it. Next question is from at Brucey of the Sea 1564. Repeat question. I'm currently in college and don't have a ton of money to spend on cards. Do you think investing in 3-pack blisters from the X and Y Sun and Moon era would be a good long-term investment? Well, I always recommend buying at the bottom, especially if you're on a budget. But we'll take a little peek at some Sun and Moon 3-pack blisters. So what I always like to do is I like to look at the best set. So team up 3-pack blisters at $175. So that to me is the cap for all these other sets. You know, team up will probably keep going, be $200, $300, $400, $500, but we'll be lucky if all these other sets even come close to that $175 mark. So I don't know. I would probably just buy some Scarlet and Violet stuff, maybe some 151 at the absolute bottom, stuff like that. It's just a little safer. And I mean, you could buy a few of these. I just can't see them gaining a ton of value. They might double or maybe triple in value, but it's going to take a while. And you got to think, people were out here buying these at $10. So you're going to automatically be behind when you're coming in late like this. But all right, next question is from at Pokey Aaron's. I have a couple of loose packs of X Holland Phantoms. Sold a few, but one of them has a line of glue on from many years back when it was posted. Do I 1, sell reduced? I'm finding it hard. 2, try to clean it up if possible. 3, open it and take the risk. Well, I'm pretty sure those packs can be weighed, so you could just weigh it. And if it's a heavy pack, open that bad boy up. Otherwise, you know, if it is a light pack, I would probably just sell it, you know, make sure you show that glue, put the weight on there and put it on a discount. Yeah, I just hate when that happens. But if you look, these packs are not cheap. And I'm sure people are like thinking, why would you open that? It's because these are in the set. You know, we got Gold Stars, Gyarados, Pikachu, Mewtwo, some awesome, awesome cards that are worth a ton of money, graded and raw. And I'd also probably try to clean it up too if you can. I mean, if you can wipe the glue off, you probably can. As long as you know it's not a resealed pack. If you're not 100% sure it's not a resealed pack, you might want to open it just because, you know, you'd hate to sell to somebody and they open it and it's resealed and they get upset and leave you bad feedback or whatever it is. So yeah, definitely a tough one. All right. Next is from @MountainPeakTCG. At what time period after a set release do you find booster boxes at the lowest price? Probably about a month or so. I think even Twilight Masquerade was like $95 or $100 about a month. But yeah, I always wait around a month. Next is from @Sheldon Parsons. Is Obsidian Flames a sleeper set? Maybe a little bit, but if you look at it, it's the smallest set in Scarlet and Violet. Like the amount of illustration rares and special illustration rares we got, it almost feels like the set shouldn't even have been released. Like it almost felt like they just put it together quick, and some of the cards should have just been in like 151. Like Ninetales should have been in 151. I mean, the whole Pidgey line should have been in 151. So I don't know. It might do okay. I think all Scarlet and Violet sets will do okay. Next is from @GugGug2277. If you were ever to invest in a TCG other than Pokemon, what would it be? I personally am a really big fan of One Piece and could see it being worth a good amount one day. Now, I know One Piece does have some pretty solid IP behind it, and they've been doing it for a long time, like with the actual storyline and stuff. But I like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering. Those are the other two cards that I collect. I collect vintage Yu-Gi-Oh! All the sets that I collected as a kid. And then for Magic the Gathering, I don't collect like every new set or anything. I just have some decks and buy some older cards, and I got a big list of cards that I need for my decks and stuff like that. So I don't really know a ton about One Piece or the other TCGs, to be honest. I just know Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering. All right, next question is from @HankZPO4FW. You have to tell us about the 16 other collections. Then we also got another question from @JasonPenna2000. Hey, can you please share a peek at your other collections? Comics, Pez dispensers, Russian nesting dolls, laugh out thanks. And another one is from LaButter420. Hey Beard, my question is, what are your other 15 collections? It seems like most Pokemon collectors have a side collection of something entirely different, typically, but to have 15 other collections is pretty substantial. So I will run through them real quick here. So for Pokemon, you know, I collect raw cards, binders, obviously I have a ton of completed sets, vintage sets. And then for newer sets, you know, I collect every alt art, illustration rare, special illustration rare, tag team alternate art. I collect every legend card. I collect every first edition card. Like there's so many sets that I collect. It's crazy. And then I also collect PSA cards for Pokemon. And then I do sealed boxes, obviously for Pokemon. And then I have a ton of sealed Pokemon vintage toys. I have almost every Pokemon themed console for Nintendo. I have a ton of Pokemon games in the box, and I have a couple Pokemon games sealed. I would love to get everyone sealed. And then I collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic the Gathering, like I said before, basketball cards, statues, a ton of statues. As you can see, there's a life-size Spider-Man behind me. Let's see here. Comic books. I have a lot of graded comic books. I have a sealed Small Soldiers toy collection. I'm collecting every PlayStation game. I have every PlayStation console. I collect old money, like bills and stuff like that. I have a ton of that. Collect old coins. And then I also collect gold, silver, fossils, and shoes. And all the collections are pretty big. I just grabbed a couple things that was near me, but I mean, just like an old Spider-Man game from PlayStation 1. This is probably my most played game. And then I just got this 9.2 CGC first appearance of Carnage. I have an 8.8. I just wanted to get something above 9s, but this is just the one that I had because I just ordered it. So a lot of the stuff is put away because we really just moved here a little over a year ago. So we really haven't had time to set everything up. And honestly, my collections, I can't display them all. There's too many. Especially my statue collection is pretty substantial. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I love to collect. That's why I always say, you know, I'm a collector and a fan first. All right, next is from @TheU131. If they reprint Paldea Evolved, will it still have the old easy pull rates, or will they change it to match Twilight Masquerade? I don't know. That's honestly a great question. If they did, that could be pretty crazy, but I have a feeling it'd probably be about the same. And to be honest, it's not going to make the biggest difference because we had it for so long. You won't really be able to tell probably what's, you know, the earlier print to the new print, so I don't think it'll make a huge difference. Next is from @GoHam4 Pokemon repeat question from a month or so ago. What's your take advice for collecting, resealing, if it's worth it, extra open tins, ETBs, and accessories type things like posters from 151 box, or mats accessories from UPCs, Charizard, Paldean Fates tins, and other popular ones, for example. I try to keep all my stuff, especially if it's popular Pokemon tin like Charizard or 151 accessories and so forth. Is it even worth to hold on to and maybe resell later on down the road for some kind of return on my purchases? Would love some advice on it all. I've truly been curious. Sorry to say, but it's never going to be worth a ton. So there are some things I would keep. Playmats, super good one to keep. And then I always keep my old ETB boxes because I put stuff in them. But I don't think a ton of the stuff will be worth money. I know some people do collect the coins. So maybe collect the stuff that people would actually collect in the future. You know, empty tins and stuff in boxes, especially if it's a crazy modern set. I don't think they're going to be worth a ton. So you could probably slim that collection down and just stick to like the play mats, the coins, and stuff like that. Next is from @TommyCampbell5227 @Pokebeard. What do you think about investing in complete in-box retro Pokemon games, sealed games, and loose games, especially with the gaming industry appearing to start to do away with the physical game market? I love it. I'm all over it. Like I said, when I was going through my collections, I have a lot of old video games. A ton. Next is from @RoryMcCauley6072. When Fusion Strike booster boxes sell in the UK Pokemon Center, do you think it will have much impact on the booster box and single card prices? Love the videos, brother. It usually doesn't make a humongous difference. It might make a tiny difference, but honestly, not really. Next is from @RobertCopeland620. Repeat question. Hey Beard, love watching your videos. I look forward to them every day. My question is, how do you decide what to buy for investment purposes versus personal collection? My collection is all over the place. I seem to keep everything, and I know I should sell some. I just don't know what. That's a tough question because I'm almost the same way. I like to keep everything, but I also sell a ton of stuff. Like, I'm very specific on my collections. You know, I don't collect just random rainbows. I don't collect random full arts or VMAXs. I'm very, very specific. So, like I said before, go look through every Pokemon set. You know, it doesn't take that long. There isn't that many, honestly. And you can go look at every single Pokemon set and pick out your favorite cards, your favorite type of cards, and then just start collecting those. And if you have those, and those are the ones you want, like I have a whole list on my phone of all my collections, you know, especially for my Pokemon collections. So make a big list, get serious, like really look at the cards and think about, you know, if you had that, would you ever sell it? All right, next is from @CyrilForel1WK. Hi, Pokebeard. Greetings from Newcastle, England. Watch all your videos every week for tips and advice. Keep up the amazing content. I am currently grading a full master set of Crown Zenith with BGS, aiming for 9.5 or higher, except reverse hollows. We'll probably settle with 8.5 to 9 with those. So this is including bulk. I'm looking through mountains and mountains of bulk, and there aren't many mint cards around. The ones I have will probably make the grade I want, but with the quality being so poor on a lot of them, could those be worth something? As always, keep up the awesome content. So if I were you, I would strongly recommend do not worry about the reverse hollows and these hollows and stuff like that. Just focus getting the good graded cards. Start there, because you have no idea how many times I see people start all these collections and all these master sets, and they go buy every single cheap card and they spend a good amount of money on all these cheap cards, and then they stop and then they just have a bunch of cheap cards. So do that after if you still want to do that. Do not worry about the reverse hollows, the commons and uncommons, especially since you're doing graded. Just worry about the actual good hits in the set. And then once you got all those done, then you can worry about the commons and uncommons and stuff like that. Like, you can keep your eye out, you know, as you're going, but I would not put a bunch of money into that. It's honestly going to be a waste of money. It's not going to bring a ton more value, especially because you're talking, you know, 8s and stuff, 8s and 9s. All right, last question is from S4MTS79. Hey, Pokebeard, are there any money or product pitfalls that newer collectors, investors should be aware of in the hobby if working with their monthly budget? Are there any from your personal collecting journey that have stuck with you? Love the content as always. Tia. That's why I had this question next to the other one, is because I swear master sets, people spend a ton of extra money and time completing these master sets of cards they don't even really want. You know, you might not even like, you know, basic EX cards or, you know, just regular hollows or even full art EXs. You know, you might not like trainers. Like, I don't collect trainers at all. I collect every special illustration rare Pokemon. So get picky, you know, get specific on the cards you actually want to collect. It'll save you so much money, and you won't have 10 binders of a bunch of uncompleted sets. Like I just seen a video of somebody have a ton of binders, huge stack, and I asked them what was in the binders. And it was one set per binder, all modern master sets, and only a few of them were complete. Like if you really think about that, the amount of money she spent on binders, all those commons, reverse hollows, you know, all the random cards she might not even like. If you really break it down and see the value there, there's not a ton of value there. If you go pick out all the good cards and try to sell them, there's not a ton there. Compared to somebody with just 1 or 2 binders that is just buying the very specific cards that they want, you're going to win every time. Now, if you do want to do master sets, totally up to you. I get it. It is kind of fun, you know, you're collecting, it makes the reverse hollows and commons important and stuff like that, but I just wouldn't spend a ton of money doing it, because then it makes you want to open packs. So you're like, oh, just open packs because I need the commons and stuff. It's just a big waste of money. And then the other thing too that really bugs me is this whole thing where you feel like you got to pull it for it to count. That's not a thing. Like that should not be a thing. I get it. It is a little more special when you pull it. I've even had people tell me that they're sentimental collectors. I have pulled so many cards and bought so many cards, I can't even remember what I've pulled or bought anymore. Once you get to a certain level where you have so many cards, it's like you can't even remember, because, you know, I buy so many cards because I buy multiples too of cards. So it's really not a big deal if you pull it or buy it. I am just as excited when my card is in the mailbox waiting for me to go get it and slip it into the binder than I am just randomly pulling a card that I wanted. And people might say you're only worrying about the money. It's just like, I'm not made of money. I'm not rich. Pokemon's expensive. I am only spending money on the exact cards that I want. You know, that's why I only like to open 1 or 2 boxes when a set comes out, to take that gamble for that chase that I want, or to get that high value card that I may not collect that I can sell to buy stuff that I collect. Like it's that simple. But yeah, do not give into this whole thing where you feels like you got to open a ton of packs and do master sets, because that's what these big PokeTubers make you feel like you got to do. Just start buying singles, open a few packs here and there, have some fun, gamble, you know, that's all it is just gambling. Take a chance at that chase, but study the sets, you know, make your little list of all the collections you want. It'll save you so much money. It's crazy, especially if you're on a budget too. You know, start 3 collections and get 1 or 2 cards for each one of those collections every month, or, you know, a box or whatever you're collecting, you know, just be smart. But all right, that was today's Pokemon What If Wednesday. If you guys do have any questions, please drop them down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And it could be just anything Pokemon related, or for me, it does not matter. And remember, this is just my opinion. Like I said before, I'm no guru or anything like that. We're just chit-chatting here, talking about some Pokemon cards. And if you guys can do me a big favor and hop over to my Instagram and give me a follow there, I'd really, really appreciate that. I post stuff there every single day. Otherwise, you can join my membership. It's only 99 cents a month. And you can check out my eBay store, which has 100% positive feedback with over 20,000 cards sold. I mean, that right there just proves how long I've been doing this. Go try to start an eBay store and get up to 20,000 cards sold. It takes forever. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you want to watch my last Pokemon Market Monday, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.